own heart yourself.
I'm trying to calm down.
I'm National Weather Service meteorologist Alex Borst.
We ran back here to the bathroom and he shut the door, and within like 5 seconds it started, the house was just like, it was so loud.
These folks found their cat just today, just right now. Where did you find her?
They found her under the rubble. Air pressure coming in almost made you feel light, like he was floating for a second.
I kind of had an idea that my house was destroyed when I found out that the helicopter is a medical helicopter back here in this hangar. It's air evac. And when I found out that their helicopter was totaled, and I knew I only live 500 feet from them, or 500 yards.
Each pile of rubble was somebody's home, possessions, hopes, dreams, and memories.
Preliminary EF2.
EF2 in Somerset.
In Somerset.
Here we're going preliminary EF3.
At least EF3.
Yeah, we were looking at at least EF3.
Yeah.
I'm National Weather Service meteorologist Alex Borst.
Okay, got a meteorologist, so he knows what he's talking about. And folks, that's the National Weather Service actually investigating to set this tornado's EF. And it's at least going to be a strong EF3. It has to be. And, who knows, maybe higher. Hey, folks. We're fortunate enough to get to talk to Vanessa Mullins, who lives or lived on Sunshine Hill in London, Kentucky. They lost everything, as you can see around her, in Friday night's tornado. They survived by literally doing what all the experts tells you to do. They went to a center room, which was a bathroom, and they tell you to go to that. And it's virtually the only room that's not tore open and exposed to the outside now. Can you tell us about it?
So we went outside because we wanted to watch the storm, and then when we went out there, we heard it sounded like a train coming. So we ran inside, and as soon as we ran inside, the electric went out. And then my boyfriend was like, run to the bathroom now. And so we ran back here to the bathroom, and he shut the door, and within 5 seconds it started, the house was just like, it was so loud and sounded like you were right beside of a train. But we couldn't tell what was going on because there's there's nothing in there, and it was dark. But then the house started shaking. It was it wasn't even a minute. I swear it was seconds. And then the house started shaking, and then it was over. So
you emerged from this room not knowing what shape your house was in.
Yes. Yeah, I had no idea that, I honestly said, I said, what in the world? I said, what was that? Wow. And then I looked up, and this is what was getting in my eyes, where it was and it was trying to take the ceiling off.
So if it had stayed literally maybe 2 more seconds over your house, it would have took the ceiling. It would have probably
taken the ceiling and taken us.
Thank God it was a fast tornado.
Thank God, yeah.
But it was a powerful one.
It was powerful. And then when we come out, it's the roof is gone right here, and there was a door sideways right here, and it's
you figured
dark.
Out things wasn't right immediately.
Oh yeah, immediately, yeah. And then you could hear someone screaming, I need some help, I need help. And so we walked, we come out here, and there was a table here, and we had to step over it to get out there. And there's everything, you can't see anything, it's dark. And there was a lady that was over here, over in this area, she was underneath this tree over here screaming. Okay, there was a woman underneath that tree over there, and she was screaming for help because her foot was almost missing.
Wow.
And so we were trying to we heard people yelling out there, does anyone need help over here? They were at the road yelling if people needed help. And so we got someone to come over to help her, and she had been in her closet and woke up over here underneath stuff, and then
she said she was in her closet and woke up under rubble.
Under rubble, and crawled to this tree over here.
Oh my goodness.
She's right here, baby. She's setting up. Yeah, I mean, she's not, but she's fighting.
Hello. I was trying to come over there, but it's too much. Y'all don't hurt yourself.
I'm trying to calm down.
It rained for me. It just rained and rained and rained.
Yeah, I think there's so many. This is your kitchen, of course.
Yeah.
So, open
Yeah.
air kitchen now.
Yeah, it's
Wow, it just
it's like an outside kitchen.
Yeah, it just takes everything apart. So,
So fast in
Yeah.
like a minute. I mean, if even that, it was just it happened so fast. Like
yeah.
it's like crazy how your whole life can be just ripped apart, and and it just shows you that though that material things and this is all things. I'm just so blessed that I still am alive right now.
That's true.
But-
because you said you had a neighbor who lost her
I
life
had
across the street.
Yeah, two neighbors that
Lost
like
their
right
lives.
beside me, and I feel like we're so lucky because this house is still standing there. My neighbor over here, her house is completely gone also, but she's survived and everything.
Okay. Well, when you come that close to not surviving, I guess you realize what's really important.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm like, these things don't even matter. I mean, you need them. You need things. You need clothes to go, to live every day. But that's not what life is about. Life is about people and, just spending time with your loved ones and all that. And it's given me it's made me realize what's important, really important to me.
These folks found their cat just today, just right now. Where did you find her?
They found her under the rubble in our mud room. That was an addition to the house.
Wow.
She got ripped off, so I'm surprised that she made it.
Wow. What's her name?
Her name's Anna.
So she's been under that rubble. This is Sunday since Friday night.
Yeah.
Oh, what a sweet cat. So right here, eyewitness to a feline rescue. This is Anthony Broughton. He was here in this house when it hit.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us about your experience, Anthony?
It was a wild night. We built a fire in the backyard. Everything was just going normal. We played a game of Trouble and some categories and was going to build a puzzle. And I was like, I'm one of them guys that like to go outside and look at the tornado when it's coming, just joking. And she's like, I want to go see. And we walked out on the back porch and it sounded like a freight train was in the backyard. Instantly, I said, no, we got to go back inside. We was in there maybe about 3 seconds and the lights went out, the power went off. And I got my phone light out quick and she come over and grabbed me. I said, let's get out of this mud room and get into the brick. Around here, you don't really think that it's going to be me. You don't think, they happen so often that you just take it for granted. But I said, let's get out of the mud room, and it was a build on to the back of the brick house, so it wasn't structurally as good as the brick. So I was like, let's get in there, still not thinking. We got up into the kitchen. It was like it tripled, intensified, the sound, just everything. And I said, nope, to the bathroom. And she hollered for her boy, and he came and got in there, and I hunkered down over him. And then we wasn't in there 5 seconds, and then it almost felt like you was like on a roller coaster or something. The air pressure coming in almost made you feel light, like you was floating for a second.
Wow.
There was bottles falling out of the bathtub, on top of us. The towel rack over the toilet fell over. But that was really the worst of it in the bathroom for us, and it kind of went away. The noise went away.
How long
everything.
did it last, do you think, estimation?
10, 12 seconds maybe.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
It went by really fast, but in the moment felt like forever. But once it was over, you're like, wow, it's gone.
Did you realize how bad the house was before you opened the door?
No, whenever we got up, before we opened the door, we seen there was, about half an inch of crack at the top of the ceiling from the trim. And was like, oh, it picked the roof up a little and set the house down. You know, that's what we thought. It picked the roof up a little bit and set it back down, and you got some roof damage. We opened the door up, and her little boy's bedroom door was diagonally in front of the bathroom door. And then everything, it was just debris all through the house. Everything was everywhere. You turn right, and the table was smashed up against the wall, blocking the end of the hallway. Everything on top of it, multiple washing machines in her kitchen from other houses.
Wow.
We had to clear out a place, and her boy, he got out before us. I was trying to fix the table where she could climb out, and we hear him yelling out in the yard, there's a woman out here.
Wow.
So that when we get out, you know, we have that dealing with, and then we had 5 dogs, and she had 4 pigs in the back, a duck. We found all 5 dogs. 2 cats. She couldn't find the cats at that time. They got us out here.
Pot-bellied
pigs that she'd had from babies and raised for years, you know. We couldn't find none of that. They're saying another one's coming 5 to 10 minutes later. There's one right behind this one, 5 to 10 minutes right behind it. So we freak out, take off with the dogs down the road. We go probably 1.5 miles up here to the school.
Well, in the
walking,
dark, through
in
the rubble.
dark, walking. This house right here is completely gone. It was covering the road. We had to come back up in the yard to walk around the house debris in the road because the road was blocked. Wow. 6-8 foot high, deep, all the way across.
So that debris was a house.
That debris that's crossing right there, that was this house, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Spread across the road right there.
Wow.
And we had to go all the way up to the dollar store and all the way down to the school for shelter. It started crazy raining at one point. Almost, it was like stinging. I don't know if it was light hail or what. We took off running when that happened just to get away from that. And we finally got down to the school, and they transferred us somewhere, and I had a buddy come pick us up.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And thank God you and everybody in the house was all right.
It's a miracle. I mean, when we walked out, that was the only room that wasn't touched. The room we was in was the only one that wasn't touched.
Okay. 250 Miller Lane. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Riley.
These people are going through all that's left of their life, trying to salvage what they can. This is truly heartbreaking. This is supplies being brought in by the Sand Gap Fire Department.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you guys so much
You're very
for
welcome.
your help. God bless you. Hey guys, we ran into some great volunteers here. They're handing out cold water, offering coats, offering to help any way they can. What's your name?
Colin Dalrymple.
And Zoe Widener.
Oh, all right. Hey, thank you guys so much for this. Y'all been out here long?
We've been out here all day, and then we was out here all day yesterday too.
Wow. Thank you. I know all these people here. Thanks. We're talking to some people here that are literally at ground zero of this tornado that came through here and had just a harrowing experience. Y'all introduce yourself.
I'm Nathan Kirby. I live on Miller Lane.
I'm Charlotte Wilson, also live on Miller Lane.
And you're in the fire department?
I work for Corbin Fire Department.
I work down the road at Happy Express.
and you're a victim of it yourself. You're one of the first responders we look to help us when something happens, and in this case, you needed somebody to help you, and you guys lost a fireman up here, didn't you?
Yes, Laurel County Fire Department, and he was a dispatcher. We call him Snez. I don't know the full details of what happened, other than just he was home when it hit, and it pulled him a pretty good distance out of his house, and he was trying to protect his wife. And I believe that she's told that she's in critical condition. I don't know if that's been updated, and I don't know any more about that.
Oh, God bless you. And can y'all tell us a little bit about what went on here in your neighborhood?
It started, I guess, coming in around 9:30, severe storms and everything. And as we were getting ready for bed, we laid down, and then they come through and asked us that we needed to leave. He said we need to go ahead and get out of the house. We left about 10 minutes after we left. The tornado actually went through our house, so we was lucky enough not to be home when it hit.
Where did you shelter?
I actually went down to Happy Express, and we sheltered there. They let us go in, and they let us bring other neighbors in who didn't have shelter, so we was able to help them stay safe away from the storm also.
Somebody told me you sheltered in a walk-in or something down there?
We did. We had a walk-in that we was able to put everyone in. We probably had at least about 30 people plus infants and everything, that we was able to fit them all in there, and we all survived it from being in that cooler.
All right, can you guys show us where you lived here, or where you lived?
I actually lived back here. We'll go this way. This was my home. It was completely leveled. There was nothing left that we've been able to salvage some pictures, some few personal items and stuff.
That would be the foundation right there to your house.
That
right?
is the foundation of my house, yes.
Wow.
And then this is what was left of my house.
Wow. If you had left,
we would not be alive. None of us would be.
Wow.
It was
Incredible.
terrifying.
And you?
I live here, and you'll know.
Pretty red Corvette.
Yes, it was pretty at one point. You'll notice my house is a little bit different looking than my neighbors. So, on each side of me, those houses are flushed off the foundation, and then on my house, it's more like it's been pressed down. So that to me says that the center of the storm, with its pressure, passed over me, and there's about an equal distance between these two houses. So the side of that tornado flushed them out and pressed me down, and it's pushed everything east. It's pushed it back and flattened it.
Looks kind of like a bomb blew your walls out, and your
that's a good way to describe it. Yeah, the ceiling right now.
Damage.
Ceiling right now is about, in some spots, about 2 feet off of the floor.
There. Wow. Thank you guys for sharing this with us. Where was you at?
I was at work at Corbin Fire Department, and all of us were paying attention to the weather, watching it, and seeing if it would let up or if it would change direction. And it looked like it just followed a perfectly straight line from west to east. And I kind of had an idea that my house was destroyed when I found out that the helicopter is a medical helicopter back here in this hangar. It's air evac. And when I found out that their helicopter was totaled, and I knew I only live 500 feet from them, or 500 yards.
How did it feel when, as soon as when I'm sure everything lit up, the calls started coming in? How did it feel in the back of your mind, having a pretty good idea your house was destroyed and going out and responding to other folks?
It made it very difficult, because as soon as that storm had passed, and we at work were listening to the radio channels here in Laurel County, and someone from, I think it was maybe a Kiwi or a Lilly firefighter, had went to Sunshine Hills to see what the damage was. As soon as the wind, passed through, and they saw that multiple structures were on the ground, and they requested an all-call. An all-call is a request for all available units everywhere in the county to respond to that location. And so they had just got hammered with that, so we knew that if anything else came up, we being a neighboring department in Corbin, were going to have to assist them the way that we could. And so me and my crew went on the interstate to check for debris to see if we could clear that. And knowing in the back of my mind my house and all my stuff's probably gone, it made it real difficult. And really I ended up leaving work. I ended up coming up here at about 3 a.m. And when I drove up through here, it was a strange feeling, because the neighborhood was my own neighborhood became unrecognizable. You use certain landmarks to kind of tell where you're at based on trees and houses. And when those things are gone, it's just strange. And I could actually only drive so far up the road. I got about 3/4 of the way up, and I parked and I walked the rest of the way up, and I looked here and I looked there. And my neighbors over there, I knew that there were 3 people in their home, and there were 3 vehicles in the driveway. So that to me said they didn't make it out. So I spent a good amount of time just ignoring my stuff and diving into their stuff and searching for them. And as I was here, other crews started to come in and start grid searching on all these areas.
How did it turn out for your neighbors?
It turned out that just before I got there, they had one of their relatives come pick them up and drive them to the hospital. So they told me that they were in their bathroom and everything got pushed just flush out, and I think he broke some ribs and really severely traumatized his ear and some scratches on his arm.
Wow. I'd say it was very black that night when you come up here because of the electricity being gone.
There was no power for anybody in the south end.
Yeah, it's great to see all the agencies work together in any kind of disaster, tornado, flood, whatever, to see how quick they come together and work together. And that's great to see that. But I just think I was talking earlier to some of the folks from the National Weather Service, and they were showing me, I didn't realize at the house we was at, the people we was talking to there, that I was standing in the middle of the path. They said, yeah, I said, if you look on each side of you, said this house and where you're standing in it is in the middle of the path. And man, it just shocked me, thinking what went on there 48 hours ago. I'm sure it'll be quite a while before life returns to normal for anybody around here.
Definitely.
What are you guys struggling with right now?
Right now, it's just basically getting your basic needs and necessities. We're fortunate enough that we have a lot of people donating for those items. So now it's just mainly like finding places to live, stay, which we've been lucky enough for a hotel to let us stay there for a little while. But I mean, it's that and getting around. Like 3 of our vehicles were destroyed in it. We had the one that we drove out in, so getting back and forth to work the coming weeks is going to be harder for him and I because we only have the 1 vehicle. So it's just the basic everyday things that you're used to doing, trying to make it not there and trying to normalize that for a while.
Wow. And you being a first responder, you might be able to answer this a little bit, is how's the response been from bigger agencies, state, federal, or are they coming in and really helping out?
Yes, pretty much as soon as they realized the extent of this damage, there was a request from emergency management given out to send search teams all the way from Louisville, Middletown, Anchorage, I think Danville, Harrodsburg area, sent in their specialized search teams that train in searching for people trapped in debris. Of course, being that they're far away, they eventually showed up, but what you had here was multi-agency response to do just a quick, hasty search and to immediately identify where people were and were not at. That happened at that residence. Yeah. She's in her 80s. Is she about 80 years old?
In her 80s, lived alone.
And so she was in the middle of her debris. Her house situation similar, where the roof is smashed down. Yeah. They could hear her yelling and banging, but I was also told that she wasn't injured. Did you hear that?
Yeah, she was on her couch, and the roof was on her. They found her because she was pecking on the roof to get out, but she was uninjured. She was lucky because it was down on her and she couldn't move, but she's able to peck to be found.
How many lives has been lost up here? Because I've heard different.
The last number I heard was 22.
22 was the last I heard.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's for this county, not statewide.
Yeah, that's for
Laurel County.
Yeah, just for Laurel County. And a person like that, it's especially hard on because she's not from this area and she doesn't necessarily have a safety net to fall on like someone else who's got 6 brothers and sisters to go to for help.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Anything else you want to add, either one of you, there, feel free to.
I'm just thankful for the people that have from the community that have showed up to offer their services. A group of guys who their business is trimming trees, and they helped me cut through a whole bunch of trees just to be able to shut my water off. And I've seen people up here with excavators and heavy equipment just volunteering their time and not charging anything.
Even though all of our neighbors just went through this devastation, everybody reaching out and helping each other has been, I mean, it's a miracle. It's amazing.
Makes me proud to be from around here.
I could not have ever asked for better neighbors than I have around here.
The lady told me a moving story about the blue car was destroyed in the tornado. It belongs to her son, Tyler Wilson, who is a U.S. Army soldier deployed overseas right now. Said he'd worked very hard to pay that car off and got it paid off before he got deployed. And now it's destroyed. And this is the firefighter's residence I was just talking to with the Corbin Fire Department. This is what's left of a beautiful Corvette he had. And folks, take a look at this. Tornadoes are so strange. It just stuck a spear in there. Homes tore off their foundation. Cars moved across the street. Can you believe this?
So heartbreaking. Like, when I see stuff like this and I go home, my mind don't rest and I can't get the images out of my mind. My mind won't shut, and I just think of all the loss and the heartbreak that people have, and it just...
Yeah, I'm afraid we're going to have some bad dreams.
It looks like a war zone, and it's just so hard for me to, stand here and see all this. It's so hurtful. It's just so... I wish I could just fix it and make it go away, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like the lady that I was talking to, she said this house up here with the Corvette, she said that her front porch is actually over here on this side and the house is over there. So they know the locations and stuff. We all we see is this, but they know
But the firefighter told me he had a difficulty finding his house.
Yeah.
On account of the shape the neighborhood was in the dark that night. Houses completely tore off their foundation. Lives completely tore apart. Hey guys, this lady has a wonderful, everybody knows I'm a cat person. She's got a wonderful cat rescue story, just like we just witnessed a cat rescue. She's got a story.
Yeah. So we got out 10 minutes out of our house before the tornado hit. We was able to take our dogs. My cat ran. I could not get her. We come back the next day and we were trying to salvage some stuff. My boyfriend that lives with me, he picked a piece of wall up out of the middle of the house off the floor. And when he did, there was a perfectly square in the middle, and our cat Kiki literally just jumped out of it completely unharmed. She was a little skittish, a little upset, but she just jumped up on me and tucked her head underneath my chin and would not let me go. I cried because I thought she had died. We come back, there's no way she was alive. But she, somehow, a miracle, she survived.
Wonderful story.
Yeah.
Folks, I can't tell you how sad it is to listen to the stories of these people and to walk around and see what they went through and to think of the lives lost. Please pray for these people, and we'll put links if we can get them to charities and to folks that you can help, if you will. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video and be with us. We love you guys. Bye. Each pile of rubble was somebody's home, possessions, hopes, dreams, and memories. Took away from them in a few seconds.